Welcome back to DCEU in review, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be your host for today while Tim is out with his eye surgery. Laser eyes. I'm calling him Blind Fury. I'm Nick Scarpino. To my immediate right is the man. He's the best of us. He will give the people an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind him. They will stumble and they will fall. But in time, they will join us at Portillo's. Mr. Greg Miller.
That's me, everybody. Vote. Portillos.com/vote.
Kevin was supposed to join us today, but I don't know where he went. Greg, do you know where he went?
I don't know.
Whoa!
I was here
Kevin Coelho, the Martian Manhunter.
The Martian Manhunter himself.
The Paula Manhunter. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Coelho joining the show today. We're at a bit of a skeleton cast. Andy's down in, I believe, in L.A. Or Dallas, maybe.
He went to L.A. for a video game event for us, and then, he's going to Dallas for
fuel.
the fuel thing.
So follow him on Twitter, and if you're going to that Dallas Fuel tournament, go over and say hello to him. I don't know if... Did Tim actually give us his impressions, or no?
I thought he was supposed to give them to you.
I thought he was too. I'll take a look.
I'll send it to him. I'll ping him. You can do the show. You lead the show.
He told me, he was like, hey, you have to say this, but I wasn't listening. So
okay, I'll figure it out.
We should call him, though.
I think just look it up. I'm sure he put it in Slack. While there, what's that?
Slack?
Disappear again, Kevin.
I like how you have to hold your breath when you do it. That's so great. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, this episode of DCEU in Review is brought to you by MeUndies, HelloFresh, and Manscaped, but we'll get to that later. Each and every week, we bring you a movie. We basically review and rank every movie in a major franchise, and of course, we're doing all the DC movies right now. You can follow us if you want to watch this live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, or if you don't have time to watch stuff live because you're always in the mood, go over to youtube.com/kindoffunny, subscribe to us over there, and watch all of our deep back catalog of films, not the least of which
hundreds
is
of hours.
MCU in Review. Oh, it's hundreds of hours.
We don't talk about MCU in Review on this show. Well, this is DCEU in Review.
There's hundreds of hours just in the DCEU in Review. We're only on the fourth film right now. And of course, you can find us on roosterteeth.com and podcast services around the globe. If you want to get this episode or this show ad-free, or all of our shows ad-free, you can go over to patreon.com/kindoffunny, just like so many of you did for the month of January. We appreciate you so much. You helped us fund a brand new studio. Of course, every dollar counts, but I do want to give a quick shout-out to our Patreon producers for this month, of which there are 18, ladies and gentlemen. James Davis, David the Mind Freak Mindtel, Mohammed, Justin Toft, Drew Garnier Fructis, Shiraz Razek, Jarrett Brown, I call him Downtown Jarrett Brown.
Downtown Jarrett Brown.
Cassandra Orphan Ramirez, Ian Jacobs, Zachary Smith, Joseph Solar, Sean Fellows, Morgan Goranson, the nanobiologist Frankfurter, Jameson Shafransky, Quaid Start the Reactor Burnett, and Al the Predator Tribesman. You guys are all amazing, and we love you very, very much. Today, we are reviewing, that's my oration voice.
You're doing great.
Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Comes out February 7th, 2020, which is today. Of course, there were screenings last night, I assume.
That's what we did. That's what I went and saw.
That's what you went and saw.
I don't know. What up, baby?
Kevin and the rest of us saw it on Tuesday, so we had to hold our tongue to talk to Greg, and it was very, very difficult.
Thank you.
Of course, we're going to go spoiler-free for the first 10, 15 minutes of this, but let me get to a couple more facts before we start getting in on this. Rated R film.
Rated R.
And I liked it very, very much.
They curse, they kill.
They did.
Yeah.
They curse, they kill.
It's
Ultra
bloody.
violence. Released on February 7th, 2020. Budget forecasted right now as of Box Office Mojo of $85 million. And the forecasting for this weekend has anywhere between $42 and $55 million opening weekend.
That's real good.
Which is, it's not great though.
Okay.
So
it's pretty good for a rated R movie. That's like top 10, right?
Yeah. For $85 million, not terrible. I think this hopefully will do better numbers than that. I'm hoping, because I think it deserves it. Directed by Kathy Yan, who is I looked up what she has directed before. She has one feature under her belt, Dead Pigs, in 2018, and then she's done a few shorts. And then, of course, written by Christina Hodson, who wrote Bumblebee and is actually the screenwriter for the upcoming movie The Flash and Batgirl. And then I wanted to throw a shout out in here. I know we don't normally talk about this, but the cinematographer on this was Matthew Libatique, who I'm a big fan of because he did such movies as A Star is Born, Straight Outta Compton, Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream, Pi, Iron Man, and Iron Man 2. So we worked with Darren Aronofsky a lot.
If I may.
Yes.
And again, we're spoiler free right now.
Sure, we're spoiler free.
But you call it a cinematographer. Is that because you think this when you watch this movie, you're like, oh my gosh, the cinematography on this is on another level?
Or different? No. But what I liked about it was it felt... I liked the way it felt. I liked the way it was shot. I like how all the action was shot. I thought they did a really, really good job with that. And when it came time to be violent, violent. Oh, the
They got
violence
violent, yeah.
was great. I just thought that the cinematography lended itself really, really well. This was one of the first DCEU movies I've seen that I thought, this is a comic book movie. This feels poppy. This feels crazy. This feels like anything can happen. It's fourth wall breaking. And I just wanted to give a shout out to him because I thought he did a good job with it. Of course, starring Margot Robbie, Rosie Perez, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Journey Smollett Bell, Ewan McGregor, who I thought did a bang-up job, Ella J. Bosco, and rounding out the top of the cast is Chris Messina, who played Victor Zaz. And I wanted to get his name out there.
Nice. I'm glad you did because I was watching that. He popped up. I'm like, oh my god, the dude from Secession.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. No, the dude from Newsroom. Sorry,
Newsroom.
I know him as
Okay,
Newsroom.
I was like, who's
And he was
who's
also in that
Secession?
Mindy show, right?
I believe he
yes,
was.
he was,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I was like, oh my god, it's the guy. It's Jane Fonda's kid from fucking Newsroom.
Yeah.
He did such a good job. It was subtle enough for like what I know of Zaz,
Victor
which is
Zaz
more,
is,
from the
Arkham games. Yeah. No, I thought. I mean, overall, again, spoiler free and all that jazz.
Spoiler free. What do
for
we
this
think of
first
this film?
part? Yeah, I thought this entire cast fucking crushed it. I remember when the first trailer dropped and we were like, oh my gosh, like Ewan McGregor is on another level. He's going to embarrass people. And I do think he's obviously a huge standout. His delivery on some of the lines when he's like when he's giving the tour of his place, like I was like, I was laughing.
Yeah.
But I thought on top of that, like Mary Elizabeth Winstead was so good. I can't say her name, but she was so good.
I was not expecting her to play that character the way she played
Exactly.
it.
That
And
was the thing,
so
right?
fun.
The humor
Yeah.
of the movie was just fantastic.
Yeah. No, I had a great time with this movie.
Yeah, Kevin?
I had a really good time with this movie. I went in there, like, as the movie started, I was like, this is going to be terrible, kind of laughing. And within, I want to say, like, 10 minutes, I was like, I'm enjoying the hell out of this. And by the end of it, I was like, this is really well done.
I started getting anxiety about 30 minutes in where I'm like, it's like watching a really good Olympic performance, like a gymnast, you know?
Can they
You're
stick
like,
this landing?
You're like, can she, like, she's doing great. Oh my God, we didn't think she was going to do good. She's doing great. Can she stick landing? Boom, she stuck landing. You're like, whoa. By the end of this film, I was actually happy to sit around and wait for the post-credit sequence. Because I was like, I just want one more quick laugh before we leave.
Yeah.
I feel like people at DC, and I don't want to, I'll say this delicately, I feel like someone that was deciding to make this movie watched Deadpool and was like, that works. Why don't we just do something like that? Because this to me felt like DC's version of Deadpool, but with a slight twist on it.
Sure.
And you can't.
And I think
that.
that's fantastic. Like, whoever made that decision, whatever team put that together, like, good job. You guys figured out a tone that we would enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think that they stuck the landing, like, throughout the whole movie. They carried this tone through, and I really, really liked it.
For me, it was I think we're all on the same page that they stuck landing. So, but for me, it was I think the third act that really cemented me with like, okay, I like this a lot. And it was when we got in the car and we were home and Jen and I were talking about it. She was like, I mean, I want to see it again. I'm like, once we were in the third act, like the final battle and stuff, and I was like, I really want to see this again now that I kind of get it. Because I think my problem with it when it started, not a problem, this is like in terms of a filmmaking problem, a Greg problem, right, is like, it started and it was going and they were doing such a good job and did throughout the movie such a good job of doing the Harley Quinn comic, right? Like her solo book, like the New 52 Rebirth stuff they've done with her where she is the roller girl, where she has the wiener dog, where she has the beaver. Like watching it was doing such a good job, but my problem early on was very much like, but I don't like that comic. Like I don't care that much about that Harley Quinn, you know what I mean, on her own doing this thing, or just that narrative, I guess, because I shouldn't say Harley Quinn because I adore Harley Quinn on DC Universe, the animated series that's happening right now. But by the end, I felt Margot Robbie and cast had made it their own and made it their own little universe where I was like, all right, now that I get it and I'm not comparing it to what I've read before, I'd like to come back and just enjoy the movie.
Yeah, I think I had a lot of criticisms of Suicide Squad last week. And,
Didn't we all?
Yeah.
And obviously that was the big thought going into this. Like, oh my God, is it going to be another Suicide Squad? And I think my biggest issue with Suicide Squad was that they didn't let the Harley Quinn character just felt very two-dimensional. It felt very flat. It felt thrown in there so that we had someone to look at in booty shorts. And I think Margot Robbie did the best she could do with the job, but I just think that they didn't pay a lot of close attention or love to that character.
Yeah.
This feels the complete opposite, where this is her movie. She owns this role. She's having a great time, and they decided to put a tremendous supporting cast around her, not the least of which was, I mean, shout out to Rosie Perez, shout out to the, what's the girl that plays Cassandra. They had a great back and forth.
I have it here.
I got it
Ella
here.
J. Basco.
Yeah, Ella J. Basco. I thought she did a great job. I thought this character, these characters were written with love and with someone that actually wanted to make them sympathetic, and they still managed to come off. She still managed to come off crazy, but in a lovable, like I want to see more of it way.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing they could have possibly done was they made her insane, but they made Ewan McGregor fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
And you're way more scared of him than you have any right to be because of the
Same
way
thing
he
with
plays that
Zaz,
character.
right? Like they
Zaz
have no
played
moral
it
compass,
so
right?
good.
Whereas like Harley at least has those pangs of it, even though at the end, like we see that tested.
Yeah.
And it was that idea of like, who is she and where's she going with all this?
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. Should we kick into spoiler territory now? Are we
might
getting
as
to the
well.
plot synopsis? I forget what
No, we
do
don't.
for these.
If you've never seen a review that's in the
We don't
moment,
normally do
you
this,
just you
right.
just saw the movie as well, so there's really no reason to run through and synopsisize that way. Because
Right.
we want in reviews you generally to be.
So in spoilers, we just talk about key moments that
Yeah,
we
we
liked,
talk about the
didn't
movie.
like.
Yeah,
Got it.
exactly. So yeah, it's spoiler time now, everybody.
Spoiler time. Put your spoiler hats
Dude, when
back
she
on.
fucking jumps on that dude's
Legs.
knees, oh my god, I was like,
Christ.
fucking hell.
They
Yeah.
did such a good job of making her this weird, violent, crazy person that is just. She walks into a police station with a gun, and it's a non-lethal gun, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
shooting out the
Beanbags
little- yeah.
and the explosive,
And it just
like confettis.
with her and the she
The
had
trench coat.
Yeah, it
Taken
just-
right
it
from
looks-
Injustice from Tom Taylor's writing. Awesome
It
stuff.
looks so cool, and it made it like this girl's crazy, and like I don't know, it made it realistic enough where I was just like, okay, this is cool.
See, that was my thing with it, where I think why it took me such a hard reset to get into it was the fact that why I don't necessarily enjoy Harley's book in general, the normal stuff, her solo run when they did all that with the wiener dog and the fucking beaver. It was that idea of just like, I don't get why like she's walking around. Like, and that's my thing is like, even I was telling Jen this in the car and she's like, well, no, they explained it, right? And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. She's protected from the bad guys from the Joker. And let's say enough of GCPD is fucking crooked enough that they're not
Or
going to stop.
terrified of him.
Scared.
I got
Yeah,
that.
but it was
Scared
just
of
like
him.
Batman isn't like you can't and I know I'm not at all trying to say that's what this movie should have been.
Yeah.
Once I adjusted to the world and settled in, it reminded me so much of something I did enjoy from the jump, but Batgirl of Burnside, which is hidden behind this wall. That's why I'm pointing at this wall. The Babs Tar, Batgirl 35 run when that started up, or 38, when it was suddenly Batgirl's out in the daytime and she's wearing modern clothes and she's doing all this stuff, and it was like, oh, this is different, and I like it. By the end, I was there. I was there, but it was that original thing of just like settling into this world, and then again, like we always talk about, of the is she crazy? Is she not crazy? How does it work? Blah blah blah. But because that was our thing in Suicide Squad, right? Where is she just a criminal, or is she actually insane,
there were
or
moments
is this stuff?
where she
She's
came off
lucid,
like
right?
she was pretending to be crazy.
Yeah.
And in this, there's a lovely moment where the shit's hitting the fan. There's two moments that I want to call out. There's a great moment where the shit's hitting the fan and they're fighting in the amusement park and they're in their like
Which-
main area.
Again, if I can, I'm sorry to interrupt for 1 second.
Yeah.
Like when they're like, let's go to Amusement Mile, that's when I was like, oh my
And they
god,
nailed
we're
it, too.
finally going to Amusement Mile in a live action DC movie. Fuck yeah.
So they're all all the soldiers of Black Mask soldiers
Yeah.
are starting to come in, and they go, "Oh, we got to take the slide."
Yeah.
And everyone's terrified, and they jump down there, except for Harley Quinn, who's like, "Wee!"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just a fun, sincere moment she has. And then there's another moment later when they're fighting down in the basement with all
Yeah.
the crazy like hands and shit and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rotary thing. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead is doing this amazing choreography where she's just beating the shit. It's like crotch shot, boom, boom, right? And in the background, Harley Quinn's on a fucking trampoline.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
in the background, on a trampoline, fucking people up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this movie could not be more fun. It just can't. It's so fucking creative and fun, and like you can tell that people who like either were fans or just became tremendous fans of this character decided to write these characters.
You nailed it early on, like right, like it is. I think the first DCEU movie, and I know I'm painting with a broad brush, and Aquaman will have some arguments and stuff like that. But this one feels like a really well done comic. It
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
like a comic
Yeah,
brought
absolutely.
to life. It isn't even with like Wonder Woman being a bit more grounded and serious kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Or Aquaman, even the way they do all this. This one feels like the Harley Quinn book on screen, which is great. I got there, and like that's what I'm talking about. Like everything that happens in Amusement Mile, right? Like you're talking about little moments to call out, and it isn't a little moment at all. But it's like I think when I was like, oh my god, this is so fucking good, is when she's been drugged in the neck and she's like slowly getting her power back, and fucking Zaz goes down next to her and she pulls it out of her neck. She's like, and then like everybody freezes. She's like, she does one more and like stops. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, going through it, I think that there's just a marked difference between this and Suicide Squad. And kudos to the team that made this. I mean, kudos to Kathy Ann and to Christina Hodson for treating these characters like real characters.
And for real, kudos to Margot Robbie. Who again, I love,
produced this, by the way.
I love Alamo, right? Wow. I love Alamo because you get the pre-show stuff that's always themed around it, and usually the last bit is really great. The last bit actually made me tear up as a fan, of DC and everything, of explaining how we got here and what you're about to see, and it being the fact that Suicide Squad was what it was, but Margot Robbie was smart enough on it to really grab it by the fucking balls and be like, cool, we should do a girl heist movie, and I'm going to produce it, and it needs to be a female writer, it needs to be a female director. I'm not going to wear booty shorts like that. That doesn't make any sense. I want to have outfits that make, it was all these things that really was we did this thing, and now we're going to go make the movie we want to make with it.
Yeah.
And you see that result, right, of passionate people who get to have a voice in what they want to do and go and not get probably stepped on by the studio like we were arguing about with Suicide Squad.
And weirdly enough, you get a crew of people a cast of people, rather, I should say, who just have great chemistry together. Right. And to me, let's be 100% honest. The plot of this movie is totally secondary.
Sure,
they're trying to get a MacGuffin. They're trying to get a diamond.
I feel
the entire
time. That's what this movie should be.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
It's let the characters have an excuse, go for the MacGuffin, and then let them have fun. That's the journey, right?
Yeah.
Where everyone's trying to catch her. I like that because now it's suddenly, anytime she's out in the open, people are attacking her, and you have that moment where she has the dude she trusts, and he breaks the trust and betrays her. The guy
that owns the store.
Yeah, and it's that's cool. That's a good way to make a character seem sympathetic.
Yeah.
Even if they're crazy and horrible. And I feel like the story doesn't matter because it was so much fun.
But what does matter is that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
The one thing we keep saying, oh man, it was so much better than Suicide Squad, right? And give credit to this. I think on top of everything we're saying, I think you just need to talk about it from a fundamental skeleton outline level, that it just outclasses Suicide Squad, where it was the same idea of when they were, being burned by Suicide Squad, like we all were, but I was or whatever. When the stuff started popping for Harley Quinn, and it was Ewan McGregor and Zaz, and it was you're doing the same thing again.
Yeah,
you're putting too many people in this fucking movie. You're not going to give them their dues, and they did. They made me care about the entire cast and gave me moments with every one of them where I was like, I get it. I get who you are. You're great. I'm in.
Well, not only that, but they had a traditional kind of character arc for Harley. And I think that's to me is probably the shining quality of this film. That's very difficult to do, especially for someone who's a villain, right? I think she has a fulfilling character arc. When you get to the end, she realizes that she did something wrong. She grows a little bit. Yeah. But the way she grows, I think, is genius. And I was telling my wife this because she was like, should I see this? I'm like, I do think you should see it. I think it's a fun movie to see. Specifically, she doesn't love comic book movies, but I'm like, I think there's enough in there that's relatable. And the Harley journey as coming from this abusive relationship where she realizes that she has to discover who she is without this man in her life. And then realizing that instead of going good, at the very end, she's like, there's that one moment where they go, there's now a void and there's just someone else is going to step in. She goes, I'm going to be the person that steps in and fucking runs this shit.
Yeah.
It's so fun and so fulfilling. And she's driving in the convertible and she's got all the fucking money and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So good, right? She decides to be badder. And I love that.
One of the things that I think, we struggle with on all of the Kind of Funny content for sure, but is that female perspective, right? Especially since Hendry abandoned us and ran away. Mm-hmm. However, Jen wanted me to say a bunch of different stuff on this about it, right? Because we're coming out of it and she was like, what I think she's like, what I don't know if you'll understand is Greg, is that this is going to become the breakup movie for so many people. When somebody goes through a breakup, to go watch this with your friends, because it is that. She's like, Jen was talking every guy, we've all been there where you date some douchebag guy, right? Oh, yeah. And then he breaks your heart and you're way better off without him, but you don't see that in the moment. Whereas that's what this whole movie was about. And she's like, this will become the breakup movie for so many people. And she's like, on top of that, Jen having, no knowledge of all the inner workings of the DCEU and all the drama and bullshit that's happened, right? When we were done, we were leaving, she was like, the other thing is, I'm so proud of them for not showing Joker. She was like, I thought for sure at the end he was going to pop up and it would make it all about him and it would be this whole thing. And she's like, they did such a great job of not making this about the shitty ex-boyfriend. They did this about the woman going through this journey and having her group of friends and figuring it all out, which doesn't happen in movies often. And I'm like, I guess that's a great point that I really wouldn't have thought of.
I think it's so interesting that they didn't have access to Jared Leto or Ben Affleck because I think at this point they're both done.
I know Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck
yes,
is done.
I can't remember if
Jared
Leto's
Leto
done
was
or if
really
he,
upset with the final cut that came out of.
So I bet he
Suicide
would have
Squad.
wanted to be in this. I would think.
Oh, see, like I feel like he's the kind of actor that like gets hurt and is like, I'm done.
I'm gonna
Fuck
go
you
be
guys.
Morbius.
Yeah,
Morbius.
and like that, I think made the movie stronger.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like it
Definitely.
was
Well,
cool, yeah, that they touched so briefly on like the whole breakup aspect of it.
You're talking about not having access. I would imagine, and I haven't watched any of the pre-press coverage or anything like that, nor do I know if they'd ask her to talk about it. I would imagine Robbie coming in would have been like, we're not doing that. Like I think she's smart enough. I think
Yeah.
the writer and the director are smart enough to know like, no, we're making this about us. Because it's interesting when we were going home and we were talking about it and Jen brought that up, I started him to say like, oh, well, you should really watch the DC show, right? The Universe one for Harley. And I stopped myself because I've never thought about it through that lens. And Joker is a main character in that. And it is very much Harley hung up on how is she going to outdo her ex-boyfriend, right? And she gets over it. And I think her and Poison Ivy's relationship is awesome. And like there's so much of really great stuff happening there. But I was like, I haven't thought that line through enough as 37-year-old Greg white guy. You know what I mean? Of like what, if that actually should be that way or not be that way.
Yeah. Just checking in with Tim to see if he wants to call in to give us his.
He's talking to a banana right now.
Yeah,
She's like,
Jesus.
no, let me get you a phone, blind man.
He has no idea where he is. He may have just gotten back to us. No, I think they nailed all that stuff, and I honestly think that like, I just this movie. There's a moment at the end when they go to the Music Mile where I'm like, Batman should show up here, but I hope he doesn't. I don't want him to because
He
I want to
could
see.
have showed up there.
Totally.
It
And he should have. If this were a Batman film, it would
Yeah.
have been a great ending for a Batman film. He drops in, beats the shit out of all these people, whatever. Yada, yada, yada.
But like,
But I loved watching them beat the shit out of everyone.
I love that too. And I think
they did such a great job, even with me, DC fanboy guy,
Right.
of making me forget about Black Canary's power, right? Because she breaks the glass early on. Rosie Perez says your mother had the gift and worked with us too, which I thought was what a great motivation thing there. Why you wouldn't flip on this guy who is a psychopath, who you know is bad when the cops show up. Well, fuck you. You left my mother to die in the gutter. You know what I mean? She was working with you guys.
Right.
And then at the end, when they're all out of bullets, I was like, oh, fuck, she's going to scream. She's going to screech. You know what I mean?
yeah. But I also love that like at the end you're like, oh, they're gonna be a team forever, and Holly's like, nah.
Yeah,
we're
she's
good.
like, I ran away.
I love that. It's almost a one and done. Maybe they'll do a second one. Who knows? But the reason why they brought them together, I thought was so good, and I thought it was cleverly done, and I thought it was just at the right time. If they had got the gang together midway through the second act, I'd have been like, oh, this is gonna linger a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that they all come together, and it's the start of the third act, and then you look outside, and it's just a bunch of hulking dudes that are gonna try to come beat these women up, and they get their balls fucking knocked in. And I want to say I want to say this with sensitivity because I appreciate it's probably going to be a hot button topic, but I appreciate how they approached that dynamic. It never felt like they're like, oh, we're giving like guys suck, women rule. It felt like this is fun and these women are put apart because there is this guy who only works with these guys and thinks that's better and they're going to prove him wrong. But at no point did I think they were like demeaning or degrading toward the opposite sex. I thought it was all done in a very, very fun spirit. And I honestly think the hyper violence really kind of takes it over the edge where you're like, this is so fucking bananas that I can't not love this. You know, the part where she fucking jumps on the guy's legs.
Oh my God.
And then the other part where whoever choreographed this really hates knees because there's another part where she breaks the guy's knees.
So
and then
visceral,
breaks his
yeah.
other knee.
When
and then
they're
slaps him.
fighting in the fucking evidence room,
Yeah.
she breaks both knees and then she breaks the other knee back the other way.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God.
And it's one of those things where they were like, we need the action needs to be fun. It needs to be super violent. We have an R rating.
Yeah.
I didn't think they went too crazy with the language, but I thought they used that R rating very, very nicely with violence. I loved it, and I love the fact that somebody that made this movie, Kathy Yan, must have been her, sat down and watched Deadpool and then watched John Wick and was like, yes.
There's something here.
Yes, there's something here. Because the John Wick, if you go back and watch John Wick, the choreography in that movie is the whole movie. There's no fucking story in John Wick. But they get so creative with it that you can't not like it. And to me, when they went in that evidence room scene, I was like, okay, I'm ready to be bored because this is going to be Bad Boys for Life, where there's a bunch of action stuff that's like, it just reads as white noise to me. But they were so... even when it ends, where she's like, drop the phone, she goes, okay, and throws it up and like kicks it at her and then kicks her in the face.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
what a
That was
fun,
awesome.
creative way to do that, you know?
That's definitely a scene I want to rewatch at home and do like the frame by frame. Because the entire time I was like, this action's great. And I was like looking of like, what is there going to be like a Mr. Freeze thing in the back or any of this other crap? You know what I mean?
One thing I want to talk about is Huntress.
Killed it.
You mean Crossbow Killer? The best
So-
They
joke?
call me.
So
they call
what
me.
a good
they call
setup.
Me.
What a good setup, because everyone was like, "Oh, the crossbow killer," and like it was like they were like I knew they were referring to Huntress.
Yeah.
And but like when that joke lands so hard.
Yeah.
And just something about her, like the way they introduced her with being like, hey, she's really good at killing, but she really doesn't have the whole.
Her in the mirror just talking to herself and trying to figure it all out.
And like that all building up to that was just so good.
Her just being a weird kid. You know what I mean? She's like
a homeschooled kid.
She's just exactly.
Where she just has no social
socially
graces
awkward
whatsoever.
Right? When they all do like the pound, she's like,
she
and I'll
wants
do
to
one of
be
those.
in
I'll
that-
do
in
one
her-
of those
yeah.
as well.
and awesome that they picked her for that because she's
Yeah.
not the actress that I would have necessarily pegged to be like that socially awkward person.
Yeah.
I can only remember a handful of movies that I've seen her in. Scott Pilgrim being one of them, and then of course the seminal film Sky High. She was the girlfriend / bad guy in that film. Spoilers if you
I
haven't
was
seen
gonna
that
say Cloverfield, whatever.
Oh yeah,
Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah,
that's right. She
Cloverfield
was
Lane,
fucking
yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
she's really
But
good.
that character was a lot more grounded than this one. This
Totally.
one's crazy.
Yeah.
And I do want to talk for a second about how the film was edited, because I feel like that lended itself so well to the fun factor, where they just keep doing flashbacks and they keep going back and they keep
4
telling
minutes
you-
ago.
But yeah, and
But
it's done tongue in cheek and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
done with like we get it. We got to introduce these characters. We don't want to either, but here's a fun way of doing it. And we're gonna give it to you, Poppy, and I'm gonna break the fourth wall and tell you who these people are, and you're gonna love it.
So when it starts, we get that little monologue from Harley just being like, hey, I'm gonna tell the story however the hell I want. And I feel like that was such a fun way to be like, we're gonna have like these moments, and
But it's also like a little bit of how her mind works, right?
Yeah,
Where it's like I'm
100%.
going,
Scattered,
whoa,
scattered,
yeah,
yeah,
and it comes
exactly.
back. Oh, we're going over this way. But they did it delicately enough to the point where you're like, okay, we're doing another flashback, and this is fun. But you don't see coming is that she was the little girl, and that all of those people were like Zaz was one of the killers. Like you just didn't spot those things, and so there was a nice little callback, and there was a nice like. There was a good flow with that where you feel like, oh, this is validating. Like, I get why this person would be mad, and it's cool that she's doing this stuff. And, like, granted, in a traditional film, you would have obviously seen this stuff happen a little bit more in the first act, but they were like, we got too many characters to deal with here. And really, what's the central focus of this film? The fun of being with Harley Quinn and being with Ewan McGregor, who absolutely
God, he crushes.
slayed this film.
So good.
And my only real criticism is that he can't come back because he gets blown to
up,
mincemeat
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end in the most
What?
violent way possible. But it's also somehow fucking hilarious when it
I got
happens.
your ring.
yeah, it's so
He gets
funny.
as he's getting kicked up, just a chunk of meat falls into the ocean.
I wish that Zaz and Black Mask had been saved.
I think
just 'cause
Zaz
they were
is still
so,
alive. I think they're gonna. Use that character
I
again.
think that there might be a chance that he is. But
they never
like,
showed him dead.
But did he get shot?
He got,
He got shot in the
Crossbow.
neck with a
Yeah,
crossbow.
but when he went down, I was like, oh, he's not dead.
not dead.
Stab, yeah.
stab.
But yeah, Black Mask. It's too
Dude.
bad he's dead because like there's no way he's not dead. But like so funny just throughout every interaction we had with him.
Walking Canary around that place, he's like, and this one is from the Chukachari tribe. Have you ever been there? It's beautiful.
I like this. He's like, look at these little shrunken heads. Look at his little haircuts.
He was
1,000 years.
now he's 1,000 years old. Now he's in my living room. I was like, oh my god.
And then he has moments where he totally flips.
Right,
Yeah.
when he did the
turns into
psychopath
a-
thing in the room
club.
and made the woman get on
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
club, get on the
That's
desk.
fucked
Yeah.
up.
Horrifying.
Yeah, totally. And it was like, oh fuck, all right.
You really do get a sense of like the abuse. You get a sense of like how much of a fucking like completely fucked up abusive asshole this guy is.
Yeah.
And I think that to me is where another thing that I was super impressed with the film was that it reminded me of, and this is gonna be a weird pull, but stick with me. It reminded me of RoboCop, and it reminded me of that because there are moments in that are so intense that you almost have to look away. And this movie had that with the Roman character, with him. And it was just, and the violence was so hyper violent, but it still works. And the other thing that I really, really liked about it was that obviously if you have every great protagonist is only as good as the antagonist. I thought he was so fucking stellar. And I think the guy that plays Zaz, Chris Messina, I think he was phenomenal. Well, he played it just crazy enough and just creepy enough so that you get at the end when he opens his shirt, you're like, this motherfucker's off the deep end. And we've seen hints of that, and we've seen him like cut people's faces off. The scene where he cuts people's faces off reminds me of the scene from RoboCop 2 where they strap the guy into the bed and cut his heart out. And I was just like, I literally started having like flashes when I was a kid. I was like, I should not be watching this. I'm fucking 7. Why am I watching this? Who's letting me watch this film? Where are my parents?
Is that a snot bubble? Ew.
Ew.
Killer.
I
Also, shout out to his gloves the entire time.
Yeah,
Where he
yeah.
wears the gloves with
Custom.
his initials on them.
Yeah.
It's great.
I also really liked with Zaz, like his little obsession that it seemed like he had towards Black Mask.
Oh,
and, like,
totally.
the
I don't know
times
if
that
it's
he like
little.
lied to him to like keep himself in like
Yeah, they had
good
like a
graces.
little love affair going
Yeah.
on there. Like
Yeah.
it's
Where he's
their
like, I'm
bromance
the only
was
one that
something
can take
crazy.
care of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you're fucking weird. I love it.
Yeah.
We are going to get to the latter half of this review in a second, but I feel like maybe
Are
we
we?
should take a break
Oh.
to talk about our sponsors.
Should
How do
we?
you feel about that? I don't know how much longer we're going to go, you think?
I'm just saying, like, it was cool when the thing blew up, and then I think it's been long enough now. Go ahead.
Cool. All right, great. The first sponsor we have, ladies and gentlemen, for this show is MeUndies. Love is in the air. Somebody go grab the Lysol. Just kidding. Even though this is a made-up holiday, it's still really cute. It's also the perfect time to show that special someone how much you care and say those 3 words everyone wants to hear. Match my undies. MeUndies has the most adorable Valentine's Day prints to get all lovey-dovey this year. Don't worry. If you don't have a boo, MeUndies also makes buddy bands so you can match with your pet, which is honestly more important than people. I'll agree with that right now. We're very much at MeUndies' house, and I don't want to ask him to do it because he's wearing a onesie right now. That, of course, is his Superman costume, but I'm willing to bet that Greg Miller is wearing MeUndies right now.
I am.
He's not the
I
only one.
assure you.
I would like both of these men who are wearing MeUndies next to me to show you, but they're both wearing zip-up costumes that is just grotesque to take off. So we won't go into that. But we are on my MeUndies household. Right now, I'm pretty sure Tim's wearing all head-to-toe MeUndies, but he can't see it because he's blind. Roses are red, violets are blue. Your butt is cute. Rhyming is dumb. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. To show you how much they love you, MeUndies has not 1, but 3 new Valentine's Day prints this year. This is the perfect opportunity to show that special someone you're ready to take it to the next level with matching pairs. Match me so I know it's real is the motto of this year. If you're matching your BFF or even your dog, it still counts. Also, psst, someone told us that MeUndies has new loungewear, and that person was Tim. Rumor has it that it's loungewear you can wear out and about. Keep your eyes peeled for some cozy new additions. Here's the offer, ladies and gentlemen. As always, MeUndies got you. MeUndies has a great offer for the listeners. For the first-time purchasers, you get 15% off and free shipping. This is a no-brainer, especially because they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. To get your 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/morning. That's MeUndies.com/morning. Next up, we have Manscaped. Ooh, this one's near and dear to my heart. As a very hairy Italian man, it's nice that someone out there is thinking about trimming me. That's right. We are hairy mongrels here. That's why we are happy to be brought to you by Manscaped. Breaking news. This important PSA is brought to you by Manscaped.com. This is your public service announcement. The Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created and just released the new and improved Lawn Mower 3.0. Their 3rd generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to prevent manscaping accidents. Millions of balls are about to be nick-free. Boo. Thanks to Manscaped Advanced Skin Safe Technology. I'll be on your balls, Kevin.
No.
I'll be the nick on your
No,
balls. Oh, it's
I don't
fine.
like it.
We've been talking about Manscaped for a while here, of course. Tim uses Manscaped because he's just a big old hairy mongrel as well. And he likes, and you know, we don't say that his fiance likes it, but I'm sure Gia appreciates the fact that he's clean and smooth down there. If you use the Lawnmower 2.0, it's an easy transition because it's the same replacement blade and with a new and improved skin-safe technology. When I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes, so you can take a longer shave. One of the coolest new features is the LED light, which illuminates grooming areas for a closer and more precise trimming, and that's great for my old eyes because I can't see those things anymore. Also, I think they're getting smaller. Manscaped, please help. And let's not forget about the charging stand. Show your mower off loud and proud because this intelligently designed stand is rapid charging dock powered by USB. They've also upgraded the Lawnmower 3.0 with a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology. Man, they are good at naming these things. If you're listening to me speak right now, you're one of the first people to hear about this life-changing product, and I want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. Trim that junk of yours. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code MORNING at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code MORNING at manscaped.com. All right. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have HelloFresh. You've heard us talking about HelloFresh for a very, very long time. Gia makes this for Tim. Tim never invites us over, and Tim's got the eye surgery today, and we are 98% hoping it goes right. But there's 2% of us because he never shares.
Yeah, he gets what he gets.
He gets what he gets. You know what I mean? He gets what he gets. Get mouth-watering seasonal recipes and pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh makes cooking at home fun, easy, and affordable. Break out of your dinner rut with HelloFresh's 22-plus seasonal chef-curated recipes each week. There's something for everyone, including low-calorie, vegetarian, and family-friendly recipes each week. HelloFresh has more 5-star recipes than any other meal kit, so you know you'll get something delicious. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and prepping so you can enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in just about 30 minutes or even 20 minutes with their quick recipes option. The average trip to the grocery store takes 41 minutes. That's over 35 hours a year if you go once a week. That's a lot of time saved. I'd rather be eating. I don't know about you guys. HelloFresh pre-portioned ingredients mean there's less prep and less food waste. Joey, we're going to check in with her because she just got her first HelloFresh package in the mail, or maybe her 15th. I don't pay attention to Joey, but she got one, and she's very, very excited about that. The packaging HelloFresh uses to ship your food is almost entirely made of recyclable and or recycled content. HelloFresh's carbon footprint is 25% lower than store-bought grocery-made meals, which is good. And extra meals or lunches, add extra meals or lunches to your weekly order, or throw in yummy sides and desserts like garlic bread and cookie dough, and you can easily change your delivery days or food preferences and skip a week whenever you want. What is more better than that? This is America's #1 meal kit, America's best value meal kit, all that jazz. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I think Tim's very, very excited because Gia keeps making him this Korean beef bibimbap. I don't know what it is, but it sounds fantastic and it looks even
so
better.
good.
Is it good?
She won't share.
Why won't he share? Go to.
That's why he gets what he gets.
That's why he gets what he gets. 2%.
Don't cough, doctor.
Here's the offer right now. Go to HelloFresh.com/morning10 and use code morning10 for 10 free meals, including free shipping. Once again, that's HelloFresh.com/morning10 and use code morning10 for 10 free meals, including free shipping. Now, back to our review of Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
We haven't talked about the music. What a soundtrack.
Good. And it works.
So good.
Yeah.
Unlike Suicide Squad, where they're like, we need something.
Yep.
Let's just throw
that
a
was
song
hey,
here.
we watched Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's
Yeah,
just do that.
let's just
And,
do
like,
it.
I
That
think
works.
there's more to it than just putting the music on it.
Did Tim respond to you about calling in?
He did. I
'Cause
apologize. No, he just
wanted to talk about specifically the music.
does. He said, okay, this is what Tim sent me, and it's totally totally misspelled. So he's already clearly blind. Just kidding. It's perfectly spelled. Birds of Prey was so damn fun. Fun good guys, fun bad guys, fun music, fun choreography. The story was surprisingly focused. The runtime was respectfully lean, and there were more laugh out loud moments than eye rolls. My number, well, we'll save where he's at. We'll save where he's at for when we do the ranking.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Andy doesn't get a vote because we don't care about him.
Really?
I didn't bother checking it with Andy.
God damn it.
Just to be fucking people out. You want to check it with Andy, see where he votes?
Yeah.
You do
that was
that.
the point. I thought this was the thing.
Oh, God. I can't be bothered. You know what I mean? I got the ads. I nailed that. What else do you want from me, people? I will say this. Yeah, the runtime is another great thing about this movie. Man, they were like in and out. We're done. We don't need this to be, because it could have been a half hour longer and fleshed out some of the characters, but why? That's not what this movie is about.
it was good. That's what you should do though.
Yeah.
Like, don't extend the runtime. Just have it nice and tight. Keep it funny. If jokes don't work, cut them out. I do want to say there was a bit of humor that like didn't land with me and
Yes.
felt a little cartoonish. But I don't like that's makes sense for what this movie is.
Well, see, to me, the closest analog to this movie is Deadpool and Deadpool 2. And I think that's, by the way, a very distinguishing high mark that you could give any film, because those movies were great and they were a great use of the rated R.
Yeah.
But this movie does suffer from the same problem they had, where they were like, we have free reign. Let's cram as much humor in this as humanly possible. And I would say like 90% of the jokes hit for me. But when there's 1,000 jokes, it's bound to happen that 10%
absolutely.
aren't going to hit.
One of the things,
And that's okay. And that's the same thing with Deadpool, where I was like, Deadpool was fun, but there was a couple jokes. There's probably 10 jokes in Deadpool. I was like,
Comedy's
you could've cut
hard,
that
right?
one
No
out.
matter
Yeah.
what you do,
Yeah,
you're
it's
going to
hard.
toss that there. And
Yeah.
one of the things that Tim was saying that he was saying that, and like I can't prove this because I wasn't listening super hard.
prove this.
But he was saying that a lot of the songs were featured in like movies with women as the protagonist, and he was like he loved that about it. Where he gave me some examples, but you know,
I want to know.
I also told him to call.
I
in.
texted Tim at the beginning of the show of like, "Hey, what's your thing or whatever?" And his response was, "I talked to Kev after the movie." So that's all he.
I told him. I was like, "You need to call in," and he was like,
He's like, "I'm blind.
I'm not gonna be able to see." And it's like, but what does
You
that have
can
to do
hear
with
and
your
talk
ears?
still.
I
and
say
feel.
call him.
No, he's fine.
He's definitely.
He's fine. He
doesn't
right
care.
now. He does not care. But he loved this movie, and so did I. And I think that, to me, here's what I want to ask you, Greg.
Yeah, buddy.
It's not about me. It's more about you. As the biggest DC fan,
Sure.
probably in the world, some would say.
Thank you.
They should give you a comic book to write. They should probably make
Should.
you the head of Warner Brothers Pictures.
I agree with
He's
that.
still
I'm
writing your own
so
comic
so
book?
far as this, don't worry about that.
He's definitely writing it still. It's in him. It's in here.
all up here.
Sorry for bringing that up. What does this do for you going forward with the DCEU movies?
Oh.
We've got Wonder Woman 1984 looks
Sure.
good.
Yeah.
Coming out. Have you allowed yourself to hope again?
Yeah.
Because Superman.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, well, I know that's just your heart too, right? Yeah, I'm allowed to hope again, right? I don't know, right? Like it's what I like about this is that yes, this is a DCEU movie, a Birds of Prey, but it doesn't feel like it needs to be. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like we saw, obviously, that it is the follow up to Suicide Squad. There are direct references. There's scenes from Suicide Squad in this. It is that version of Joker. Yada yada yada. Right? But even if they were like, it's not the DCEU, and you watched it and you would have enough to go on, you'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
It still breaks my heart that I don't know if I don't think we're ever going to get back to Justice League. Right? Like, are we ever going to get back to
I
all
think
the
they
heroes teaming
will
back up? and
eventually.
I
doing
think
their
that
thing?
they're prepping like.
I feel like
there's
it's
still
on
time.
two different tracks, right? Where on the one hand, that breaks my heart. You know what I mean? Like, are we ever gonna see a real Justice League on screen, or like just a really great team up movie or whatever? But on the other hand, if they keep doing stuff like this, and I love the fact that it is weird. I love the fact that it is
weird.
not a Marvel movie. I love the fact that it's not a DC movie as we know them, right? I love the fact that they figure on the heels of Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix, this
Yeah.
comes out, and it's like, yeah, cool. Get talented people in here and that means writers, cinematographers, directors, actors. Get them in here and have them make cool shit with cool characters. And that's the thing is like,
Let James Gunn make Suicide Squad 2.
and let's see
go.
what the fuck that's gonna look like. Yeah,
And I'll agree with you. One of the things I liked about this was obviously the Joker is a very polarizing figure in mainstream media, and everyone that does it has this tremendous amount of like responsibility and probably pressure to live up to Heath Ledger and, let's be perfectly honest, the more important Joker, Jack
Mark
Nicholson.
Hamill,
Well, I mean, Mark Hamill's great too. We've had so many great interpretations of this, right? And so many great people that like where they stand out. And to me, you know, as being like a fair weather DC fan, the Joker is like the top dog when it comes to villains, right?
Sure.
He's the one that everyone should be afraid of. What I liked about this was we got that, but it also kind of took the Joker. This one felt like it took the Joker back and put him back into the rogues gallery. And I was like,
Yeah.
cool. He
That's
doesn't
right.
have to be like
God
The main
tier.
guy.
God
yeah.
tier. Like, and actually, it kind of works better if he's not, right? Because obviously, they respect how vicious he is, but they don't respect him so much that they still won't kill Harley Quinn. Like, if the Joker is really that crazy, you probably would just still leave her alone just in case everyone. It's like when your buddy's dating someone you hate. Even when they break up, you never say we hated her because they might get back together.
Yeah, I know that one.
And this
all
one,
too
they're
well.
like, he's gone, fuck it. And Roman comes off even more psychotic in a different kind of way. So I liked that. I liked that they were like, I like that they kind of do what Marvel does, which, with the exception of Thanos, like all the bad guys and all the good guys are kind of on the same level, and they all have fallacies and they're all kind of beatable. To me, this kind of stepped Joker back a little bit more to like attainable area, which makes it more interesting to me.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I love
Go
the
for it.
visual styling of it. Again, compare it
Colorful.
to Suicide Squad, where we talked about it so much during it in the first review of Suicide Squad and in the review of all the text they put on screen. There's no possible way to read it. Maybe it would have been funny. I have no idea. This one, when it starts doing it, right, it's so clear of like, here's who they are, here's why they hate me, right? And the way it pops
Grievance,
up.
Yeah.
why they hate me.
And when the fucking
It's Roman, which is like 15 of them, just starts going really fast.
When the van showed up and started driving at her, and I was like, wait, that's the guy I thought she killed, and it
Yeah,
said brother.
brother.
I was like, that's
Yep.
so fucking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're I mean, and again, talking about the visual style of this film, great use of color. Not the least of which is, and this is definitely by intent, when she walks into the police station and starts shooting people with the grenades, and they're like
The
every
color
one of
was
them are
so
like the
good there.
beanbags, and
Yeah.
then every third is the one that like
Confetti bombs,
explodes
yeah.
in this incredibly colorful confetti.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
I liked even when she was leaving and saw the boomerang. Then she's like, I know that guy.
Yeah, little touch, right? I love that the hyena's name is Bruce.
Bruce, yeah.
After that hunky Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Just a little touch of that was
Yeah.
good.
To your question earlier about
Mm-hmm.
like what this does for the future, like does this excite me? I think that if they can continue to make movies, like if Wonder Woman 1984 is this fun tone, it doesn't even have to necessarily be fun. As long as it's a like enjoyable movie, I would be very excited if the Flash movie was maybe a place where they're going to reset stuff. There's been a lot of losses.
It's their
so I feel like
argument,
they
right? And I
yeah.
think that makes more sense now seeing this, right? Of when they were like, it's a standalone movie, Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn. And we were like, so wait, it's not in the DC. No, it's in the EU, but it's standalone. So wait, is it not a follow-up? Well, it's not a sequel to Suicide Squad.
Right.
You don't understand what that means. And I think what you're saying is what I hope their intentions are now with all these movies, that they are all standalone. Meaning that, no, they're in the universe, but they stand on their own and they tell their own story and they're not link to, well, you have to put in this to put in that. Like, you have to do something to Darkseid to make Dark. You know what
But
I
I
mean?
do hope that they get there, just because, and I know like MCU is doing that, and these don't have to be the same. But I do.
I wish that. Yeah.
I do think that it adds a lot to rewatchability. Like, how cool would it be if you rewatch Man of Steel and you're like, oh my god, that is Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh no, I get it, and I want that too. And
That'd be so cool.
Flashpoint though, yeah. I don't, or for Flash's movie, which is going to be a Flashpoint that isn't the normal Flashpoint. Like, I'd love normal Flashpoint of going back and he fucks up time and Thomas Wayne's Batman and we have to worry about all that. And then that
shit.
spirals out and that fixes the
And they
Ben Affleck stuff.
Ben Affleck as Thomas Wayne, and it's totally confusing.
It's
just even more confusing.
It's straight up Negan, right? It's just all those guys.
Oh,
again. Like,
that could have been. They wanted to do
when
that.
You start exactly when you start playing around with that shit's awesome. And so the fact that you won't get that is like, all right, cool.
Was that their intent? Because obviously casting Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
Yeah, that's right. Nail it.
and Laura Cohen.
Yeah.
In those roles, you're like, that's awesome. They got two really good TV actors, or like two really good actors, rather. One from TV, both from TV, but
Yeah, both out of
he
Walking
was Watchmen. I wonder what they're gonna do with that. And then like the fact that they just let it die is like, no.
I mean,
pun
I feel like
intended.
there's
So
a lot
sad.
of that going on there. Yeah.
What I like is that I'm right there with you. This movie, let's not even bother trying to figure out where it fits into the grander scheme, the larger picture.
No, that's literally what we have to do.
What's that? No. Yes, we will do that. What I'm saying is, as far as Warner Brothers is concerned, and as far as DC is concerned, let's just take this one as a win. This is a fun, cool movie that everyone should go see in the big screen because it warrants just the biggest screen
Lots of
fucking
color,
possible.
yeah.
It's lots of color. It's super fun. The
We
cast
watched
is
it in
great.
IMAX.
We watched
Like,
it in
that was
IMAX.
great.
Perfect. I think they'd be smart to kind of treat this as like Iron Man, where they're like, cool, we got one. Let's maybe just start figuring out
Step by
organically how the world can be built out from this point on. You've obviously got Wonder Woman coming out. That looks great. It's in the 80s. Boom. It's number one in my opinion whatsoever. So let's just cool it and see where it goes. James Gunn coming out with Suicide Squad 2? That can't be bad.
The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad. Is that what it's called? Oh, that's right, because it's a whatever.
Exactly.
Jesus
Nobody
Christ,
knows.
I
Yeah.
can't
It's
remember.
standalone.
It's standalone. Good. Fucking standalone.
And even the references in here to Suicide Squad outside of Boomerang when
She pulled out her shirt and it's like, not that one?
Yeah, Cassandra sentimental, and Cassandra Cain's like, explain to me how you got here. She's like, all right, step one, and she gives her whole life story, incking like, save the world, go back to jail, break out of jail, do this thing. That was great.
Cassandra Cain's
Batgirl.
character. Oh, really?
Yeah.
The like a newer one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Cassandra Cain first appeared in Batman number 567. The character is one of several who have assumed the role of Batgirl, and Cassandra Cain goes by the name of Orphan in current DC Comics continuity.
got it.
Did I get that correct?
Yeah.
That was Facts of Prey.
Oh yeah,
Greg came up with that earlier.
The nice nod to that, of course, is that Cassandra's Batgirl in the comics, right, is doesn't talk.
Right.
And so when Rosie Perez shows up, and I was wondering, I didn't look into most of this, and I don't remember from trailers if she was talking to them. But when Rosie Perez showed up, I'm like, what's wrong with you? You know, no smart alecky remark or whatever. I was like, how are they going to do this? And then she does it. I was like, what's going on? And then the flashback tells you why. I was like, that's cute.
That's awesome. Of course.
Because she ate the diamond?
Yeah.
That's fun.
I didn't put that together.
Of course, also, I mean, obviously, facts of fiction, people know this, but in other comics, Barbara Gordon was one of the founding members of Birds of Prey, also Batgirl as well, right?
Yep.
So how did that role in the comics just get assumed? Oh, she moved to Oracle,
Yeah,
which
once
emptied,
she-
which
once she got
opened up
shot.
the Batgirl.
Yeah, the Joker shot her and
role.
paralyzed her.
That's awesome. Cool. She doesn't have the Iron Man suit.
Huh? Yeah, no, she didn't do that.
No
She
War
had a
Machine?
wheelchair, yeah.
Okay.
New 52 though gave her her legs back so she could move again.
There you go. Good. Not a ton of other fun birds, facts of prey right here. I'm trying to look for anything more than that. First live action appearance of Renee Montoya, a character introduced in Batman the Animated Series, which is great. Of
Now,
course,
now the question in the comic books.
a similar character, Anna
Really?
Ramirez, appeared in The Dark Knight. We remember her.
Yeah.
She was one that betrayed Harvey Dent
Yeah.
and then got.
No, I thought, and that was the thing is like again,
coin
like
flip.
you know, as much as I sit here and be like, oh, woe is me, I don't get a Justice League movie and there's no Suicide or Superman movies. Like it's awesome to watch this and be like, holy shit, Renee Montoya is Rosie Perez. She's on screen and she's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
She's a great character. When she gets shot and she opens it up, she's wearing the bustier. It's like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, when I laughed earlier when you're talking about the amusement mile stuff. When she shows up to confront Harley, and Harley's like, "Are you drunk?"
Yeah,
I was
she
like,
is drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. All right, everyone. Of course, we love you very, very much, especially people who decide to go out there, before we rank this, people who decide to go out there and back us over on patreon.com. We like to do a little thing here. We ask you guys for your haikus in review, and some of you came with the thunder. Let me pull this up real quick. Oh, Jesus, Lorezus.
While you
I'm
do
up
that,
against
should
the
we
wall.
do...
Dun 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 dun.
Ragu.
Dun 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 dun.
Bagu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys, Volume 7, the DCEU. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the glue at Kevin Coelho.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good, man.
And Tim ain't here, and,
Yeah.
and Andy ain't here. So
My
we-
face
it's up
is
to
just so bad.
It
There's,
looks
like,
great,
random
though.
hairs.
It's great. Yeah,
And I want to
see
get
it.
them out, but it'll smear the green.
Yeah.
So
You look great. I'm proud of you
Thank
for doing
you.
this. Currently, the Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys list of the best DC people from, or best DC villains from the DCEU go like this: number 1, Zod; number 2, Roomslex; number 3, Enchantress and her baby bro.
I think this with Mask and Zaz easily.
I was just gonna put Roman, but yeah. You're right. Those odds. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
I easily
gotta
number
go
one.
The most enjoyable to watch for sure.
Yeah, so
Best
much fun,
performances,
yeah.
I think. Right? Yeah.
God, Hugh McGregor is a fucking treat.
I'm so happy they picked him and he went so like full on in
Yep.
the role.
Now
Yeah,
it's-
100%. I thought everything we've nailed. I think we've said it already, so I won't. But even with the flashbacks too, of like, when he cuts off the faces, he's like, ew, and then
Yeah.
he dances out all happy, and then when he's fucking crazy, and then when he shows up in the mask. Like,
What about when they're giving him Botox? He just the governor is like, get out of here, you fucking hurt. So definitely better than Enchantress.
Yeah, definitely. He's number 1. Black Mask and Zod take the number 1 spot from Zod in Man of Steel.
Now it's time for haiku and review, ladies and gentlemen. Remember,
7
you-
syllables
Oh, that's-
in the
I forgot
middle.
we do that stuff.
You need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to sweat it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Everybody, haiku in review. Haiku in review. Everybody now
Full
stop.
stop. Go over to patreon.com/kindoffunny. Back us at the $5 tier, and you too can enter your haikus in review, just like Shnick3 did. Said, ass kicking women better than Suicide Squad. Keep it up, DC. Okay, that
like
one
it.
wasn't the best. But
I like it.
I asked
It
Joey
was a
for
lot.
3. She pulled out. She was like, all right, we'll go with that. Try harder next time,
I like
sneak.
the-
thing.
Well,
Just
remember,
made
the
them up.
pool's so limited because the movie just
Yeah.
came out
I
last
know.
night.
I'm just fucking with them. It's good. Let's see. Mason Hall says, Steele's Deadpool style, Black Bat and Zaz reviled. Damn, Robbie's smile.
Oh.
And then finally, Tristan Benz said, the movie was slick. Not one ass was left unkicked. Black Mask, what a prick.
Oh, that's a good
was
one.
good.
That's
Good.
really good.
That
That
That's
was
really
very,
good.
very
You
good.
don't have to rhyme, but it helps.
All right, we're down to it. Now it's time to rank this movie, Birds of Prey. Let's pull up the ranking real quick so we can see where we're at right now. Number 1 currently ranked at number 1, Batman v Superman. Number 2, Man of Steel. Number 3, Suicide Squad. It'll be fun to see how far down the list Suicide Squad goes.
Wait, hold on. Is this a joke that I'm just picking up on?
What's that?
What?
Why in the background are the Ghosts and the Fast and the Furious people? Ranking the DC, look to Aquaman's right. There's fucking well, not Vin Diesel. That's Tyrese and then Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh my God.
And then on the other side by Flash, yeah, it's Han and it's
wanted to fill it up. I like
Sloan from Entourage.
I mean, the
Mia.
fact of the matter is,
Andy's really not trying anymore.
no, he really isn't. He's just using a lot of assets here.
That's
but I think
really
great.
funny. I just realized, man, there are another 4 movies I have to wear this green face paint.
Yeah.
on.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
That's
gave
a
you the out. I
lot
said
of-
you could just not do it this
Yeah,
week,
but
and then you can go in
were
next
like,
week more
then
full.
it'll be funny because everyone except for Tim will be wearing it, but like that would then happen this week where you both are
we
wearing
all
it.
had a
I'm
good
not.
time.
Well, we
Don't
were
worry.
gonna not dress.
There
up
was a
and just
yeah,
leave
Nick
you
at the
there.
very Nick Hail Married at the last second. He was like, "You want to not dress up and go out there?"
You fucks. That would really funny.
I know.
I want a photo of all of them.
It's gonna be great. All right, let's go around the table. Where do we want to rank this movie? As of
dude.
course, we're just working with the first 3. This is the 8th movie in the series, and of course, next week we're gonna come back with
Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah. So, Greg, where would you put this? And you know you want to
this
fucking put it
question.
above Batman v Superman. You know
Why-
you do.
Dude, this
Here,
is such
I mean,
an easy one.
so let's
Big
just stop.
Howard, Greg.
Let's just full stop and have a conversation, everybody. Can we just stop? Can we all put it's like everybody's like this with the guns right now. Can we just put the guns down? Without question, wholeheartedly, this is a better movie than any of the movies we have. But is it a better DC Extended Universe movie?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what we're grading it on.
100%.
That's what we're grading it on,
It
right?
is. It doesn't throw
Glad
in
you asked that
random
question.
shit.
Where is everybody? You know what I mean?
No, all the characters we don't care about, not in this movie.
All the terrible characters that have disappointed us, not here.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
listen.
I won't disrespect the achievement Birds of Prey is. Birds of Prey is number 1.
It
Okay.
absolutely is number 1.
Yeah.
I believe Tim Gettys voted for it as number 1. We have to go through the rigmarole. Who here thinks Suicide Squad, or this movie is better than Suicide Squad Restrained.
Come on, Suicide Squad's garbage.
thinks
Somebody
it-
pointed out, like, we didn't bring up the graphic last week. Otherwise, I would have argued to move Suicide Squad to immediate 8.
Yeah.
You know
We'll
what
see.
I mean?
We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see.
You can vote
who
for that
thinks
now.
Who thinks it's better than
I'll back
Man of
it.
Steel? Man of Steel. Bear, are you voting on this as well? Or not?
I'm
No, he
not
doesn't
a
have a
Oh, you
vote
don't
on
get a
this
vote.
one
Do we
either.
know
All of us
Andy's
kept our
vote?
hands
No,
raised.
Andy literally at the beginning he posted he was on a plane, so we didn't think this.
It's fine. It
I
doesn't
doubt
matter.
anyone's gonna come in hot on. Wait a second.
It
No.
doesn't
Well,
matter.
also
We're
if
outvoting
four
him
of us,
anyway.
yeah, 4.
And who here thinks it's better than Batman v Superman? It is unanimous, ladies and gentlemen. The new ranking is for the DC extended. And a little hand applause.
They earned it.
Birds
They
of
did.
Prey, number 1. Number 2, Batman v Superman. Number 3, Man of Steel. And rounding out the 4 movies that we have reviewed so far is Suicide Squad, which I have to imagine will be number 8.
For
But
sure.
we won't know until next week when we review Wonder Woman.
Now it gets interesting, right? Of like, yeah, where does Wonder Woman fall into this thing? Because
Where
Wonder
does
Woman was
Justice League fall into this thing?
no Justice. There's no questioning the word Justice League. Well, actually, I see what you're saying. No, Justice League's better than Suicide Squad, but it's still crap.
All right.
No, but
I'm excited. I'm excited for these next couple.
Well,
movies.
yeah. Wonder Woman, Aquaman. I am very excited to see where they
Yeah.
actually net out in this.
What about Shazam?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I mean, here's the thing: is like once everything exploded for me, right? Like Aquaman and Shazam. All right, yeah, I went and saw these movies, and I'm a DC kid. I'm like, cool. Yeah, I saw these movies. Great.
Well, you can't possibly be as excited for Aquaman and Shazam as you can for like Man of Steel.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
And they
just there-
fucked it, and somehow these clowns are still getting fucking sequels.
That's true.
Henry Cavill out here having to fucking fight horses and witches. Come on,
Well, have you seen the effect that Jason Momoa has on me?
he's a great
He
looking
should
man.
get a sequel. Put that motherfucker shirtless.
Can I get Nicole Kidman back in it?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, she's not doing. She's not doing Pretty Little Liars.
Remember,
19,
and
whatever the fuck
Willem
it is.
Dafoe in it, great.
Yeah.
And then that
Everyone's
guy,
great.
then the guy who's
The amount
Remember
of
the
money
underwater
I can't wait
sea
to-
battle that happens for 45 minutes? You're like, why are the shrimp
That's not
fighting
even
each
the
other?
next movie though. We're not allowed to.
Yo,
have-
That's
it's like
true.
huge whales, and then it's these little
Little
shrimp.
tiny
fighting
shrimp, like, fuck you.
All right,
fuck
fine.
you.
Wonder Woman's next week.
Wonder Woman's next week. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. If you're listening to this in podcast form, please rate us. Give us a good old-fashioned 5 to 10-star rating if that's even possible on the platform you're watching. Until next week, I've been your host, Nick Scarpino. I think Tim will probably be back for Wonder Woman, but if he's Blind Fury, I'll be back again for this. I hope I did a good job. Leave a comment. Let me know how great I am. Until next week,
Fantastic.
see you next week, Mr. J.
Let's go.
Okay.
I like that.